The day passed by and the university ended. Jimin was sitting inside the car when went inside it. He handed him his phone as he looked towards Jimin for a while. Jimin, why are you staring at me? He said, snatching away his phone. Taeyang, nothing. Just seeing if you were angry or jealous. Jimin, nothing from that. Taeyang, then you wouldn't have beat them up like that. Jimin, well, they were talking about you, and considering that you are my husband, I just couldn't hear bad about you. Taeyang, what did you say? Jimin, nothing. Taeyang, did I heard wrong? You said husband. So that means you accept me as your husband? He said, getting excited. Jimin, do I have any other choice? I just had to. He said, just ignoring Taeyang's gauge. Taeyang, okay, let's forget about that. Why would you just on your recorder? Jimin, I just do it during classes. I don't feel like studying during classes. So at least to get average marks, I just record it and listen before exams. Taeyang, is that why you have so many recordings? Jimin, did you heard all of them? He said, widening his eyes. Taeyang, uh, some of them. By the way, why are you so surprised? Jimin, nothing. He said, looking outside the window and pursing his lips into a straight line. Soon Taeyang gets out of the car and opens the door for Jimin. But Jimin seemed like he was zoned out. Taeyang bends down as he looks towards Jimin and gives a peck on his cheeks. Jimin immediately came to his sense as he backed off. Jimin, what are you doing? Taeyang, you were staring at me. Jimin, I was just zoned out. He said, pushing Taeyang a bit and running inside the house. Taeyang just smirked as he looked towards Jimin and locked his car before leaving from there. What might be there in his recording that he was so nervous? Taeyang thought as he went inside the house. The other day, Jimin and Felix just finished their second lecture. As they headed outside, they saw the chairman's son standing there. Jimin and Felix ignored him as he walked towards the ground. The boy followed them as he also walked towards the ground. He ran a bit and went in front of them. The boy, you are Pak Jimin, right? It's Lee Minsu. Jimin, so I did not ask you. He said as he again ignored him and started walking. Minsu, I see you have a lots of attitude, don't you? No doubt so many people talk about you. He said, trying to grab their attention again. But Jimin wasn't in mood of fighting and again getting in trouble. On top of that, he didn't wanted to get scolded by Tiang again. Minsu, oh, so you are trying to run away. I thought you must be brave, since I heard a lot about you. But seems like it's totally different. And this grabbed Jimin's attention as he stopped and looked behind. Jimin, listen, I'm not in mood to fight at this time, so please get out of here. Minsu, it's also my university and I study here. How am I supposed to get out of here? Jimin, just do whatever you want, but don't come in front of me. Minsu, but I want to. Jimin, just fuck off. Minsu, I can't do that. Jimin, what do you want? Minsu, that's right. I wanna see how strong you are. He said as he smiled. Felix somehow didn't find it appropriate because Jimin might get expelled because of him fighting with the chairman's son. Felix, hey Jimin, don't fight with him. You know now he's chairman's son. He can get you expelled. I guess he's just trying to provoke you. Let's just leave from here. He said as he held Jimin back. Minsu, wait, who is that? Your boyfriend? Felix, even if I am, why do you care? He said, trying to drag Jimin, but Jimin wouldn't. He was standing there like a statue. Minsu, then I'm gonna fight with your girlfriend. I hope you don't mind that. He said, going towards Jimin as he was about to slap Jimin. Felix stopped him again. Felix, I do mind. But Minsu pushed him and Felix fell on the ground. That was enough. Jimin couldn't control his anger as he slapped Minsu. Minsu, that's what you are. And that's what I wanted. He thought to himself as he fought back, but of course he couldn't win. Jimin was much more stronger and trained than him. Felix just ran towards Taeyang's cabin as he somehow thought that Taeyang might be able to stop Jimin since he did last time. At Taeyang's cabin, Felix took permission as he entered inside, panting heavily. Felix, Professor, Professor, Jimin. Taeyang stood up as soon as he heard Jimin's voice. Taeyang, what happened to him? Is he alright? Felix. He's fighting again. I can't stop him. He said, still his breath was not stable. Taeyang ran outside as Felix followed him. He saw Jimin beating up Minsu as he ran towards him, holding him back. Yeah, Jimin. But Jimin wouldn't stop. He started to struggle as Taeyang made his grip on Jimin even tighter. You won't fall. Stop it right now. Jimin. But he started it, not me. Minsus got up as he also tried to go towards Jimin to fight him back, but he was helped by other students. Tian came in front of Jimin as he knew if Jimin kept looking at Minsu, he will not be able to control himself. Tian, calm down, okay? Just calm down. Let's go. You are already too much injured. This somehow made Jimin calm a bit as he just fell on Huang pretending to be unconscious. Huang knew Jimin wasn't unconscious, so he just picked him up as he went towards the infirmary before saying the other students to take Mingsu to the infirmary. Tian gave Jimin first aid as fast as he could and later left with him to his cabin, as it wasn't going to be good if he kept Jimin and Minsu in the same room. Minsu, who was totally confused with Tian's behavior, kept looking at them. While the nurse was giving first aid, Chairman got there as he stood in front of Minsu. Both of them looked at each other as they gave a evil smile to each other. It was actually their plan to get Jimin expelled. Because of Jimin, their university was getting a lot of hate from the parents. Because Jimin wasn't a guy who will leave anyone. He used to beg a lot, so the parents had been complaining a lot. But the chairman couldn't do anything, so he just planned to let Jimin get expelled because, of course, he won't be able to stand in front of Minsu. Plus, he was chairman's son, and picking him up was really not a good choice. Actually, does it hurt a lot? He said as he held Minsu's hand. Minsu, yeah, a bit, but I'm fine. So, are you getting him expelled now? Mr. Lee, of course I'm getting him expelled. Minsu, so don't forget about my president. I want that card. Mr. Lee, of course I will not forget about it. As soon as you get well, I will get it for you. Minsu smiled as he rested on the bed with Taeyang and Jimin. As Taeyang carried Jimin towards his cabin, he made him sit on the chair and closed the door. Taeyang, you are in my cabin. Open your eyes now. He said as Jimin finally opened his eyes and sighed. Yeah, I told you not to fight, right? Jimin, well, that's not my fault. He was the one who started the fight. If you see the CCTV camera, you will see he even pushed Felix down. He himself asked me to fight to win him. If you don't believe, then I can show you the recorder. Since I forgot to. close it after the class. Yeah, I believe you. But do you think others will believe? He is chairman's son. How many times do you have to tell you not to mess up with anyone? I'm pretty sure they are not going to spare you. They will expel you no matter what because of you. They are getting all lots of complaints. I'm pretty sure that it was their plan to get you expelled. You should have just understood it, Jimin. But he was the one who started with. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, fine. I will see it. Do you have any class out now? Jimin, no. I have after lunch. Although, stay here, I will get your lunch when it's lunchtime. Have some rest. Got it? Jimin just nodded as Taeyang took some books from the left from there. Felix entered after Taeyang left from there. Felix, hey, are you fine? Jimin, yeah, I'm fine. What about you? Felix, I'm definitely fine. I told you not to fight with them, didn't I? Jimin, well, that's not my fault. He was the one who started it. He shouldn't have pulled you like that. Plus, he was also asking me to fight with him. Felix, I know, but it is not good because I don't think he will spare you. After all, he's the chairman's son. Chairman, I don't care. Felix, fine, let's just go from here. Chairman, no, I'm staying here. Felix, what? Chairman, I'm staying here. I need to rest for a while. Felix, but it's Professor's cabin. We aren't allowed to stay here, are we? Chairman, yeah, we are not, but he has gone to his class, so I don't think it would be a trouble. Felix, are you sure? Jimmy, yeah, I'm sure. Felix, alright then, I'll be outside. Jimin just nodded as Felix left from there. Jimin kept his head on the desk as he closed his eyes. Jimin, I just shouldn't have done that. I literally forgot. After about 1 hour and 15 minutes, Tiang entered inside his cabin as he found Jimin resting his head on the desk. He was asleep. Tiang looked towards him as he bent down to his level. Tiang, why do you always cause trouble? I hope everything goes well and you don't get expelled. Fine, now it's your class time. You should get up. Jimin, Jimin, he said while he shaked him a leg. Jim, get up now. Jimin, yeah. Sam, you have classes now. Get up. He again said. He heard the door opening as he immediately stood up. Alex, Jimin. He stopped as soon as he saw Thang there. Felix, oh shit. He's gonna be in trouble again. Professor, I'm sorry. I'll take him. Thang, it's fine. What were you saying? Felix, Mr. Lee have called Jimin to his office. Jimin was now awake due to the noise. Felix, Jimin, come on. Thang, you both had classes, right? Felix, yes. Thang, go ahead to your classes. I'll talk to Mr. Lee. And if you can stop Jimin from fighting away. Felix, yes, he nodded. Yeah, and yeah, Jimin, have your lunch before you go to your class. Or if you can just have it inside the class. But carefully, don't get caught again. Jimin just nodded as he took the box from Thiang's hand and left with Felix. Jimin, why did he call me? Felix, didn't you don't even come out before he comes there? Did you have to get into another trouble now? Jimin, I didn't got right. And I knew I won't. Felix, what? Jimin, nothing. Jimin said as he looked behind and saw Taeyang going towards the chairman's cabin. He again looked towards the front as he kept thinking about something. Felix, hey, what happened? Why do you look so worried? Jimin, it's nothing. Let's go, he said as he entered inside the locker room and took his books. Both of them went towards their class as they sat and the lecture started. Jimin seemed to be zoned out. He wasn't concentrating in the lecture. Hyung entered inside the chairman's office as he bowed to the Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, oh, Professor Kim, why are you here? Hyung, you called Jimin, right? So I'm here on behalf of his Mr. Lee, but I called him. Why are you here? And why would you come on behalf of him? Yeah, I just did. Can you tell me what you were going to say to Jimin? I'll tell him. Mr. Lee. Oh, it's about the fight he had with my son today. Yeah. Oh, so you are saying you are going to expel him, Mr. Lee? Yes. Yeah. Then what about your son? Are you also going to expel him, Mr. Lee? You see, Thang, my son is one of the top students, and expelling him wouldn't do any better to our university. And due to Jimin, we have got so many complaints from the parents. Well, I am going to suspend my son for a while, but expelling him wouldn't do any better, right? Hyung, but isn't it? That would be unfair, wouldn't it be, Mr. Lee? But you see how much difference they have in their grades. Minsu is really one of the top students, or I can say he is the top student. If we expel him, it would only get a loss for our university. That's why I was just planning to suspend him. So you should do that to both, not to only one. It would be really unfair, Mr. Lee. But Jimin is always fighting with others, and it was first time my son had fought with anyone. But it was also his mistake because he was the one who started it. If he wouldn't have started, then Jimin wasn't going to fight with him. Plus, Jimin hadn't fight much in last few weeks. He had been always been away from the fighting stuffs. It's just last 2 days had been a little bit bad for him. Necessarily. Hey, why are you just trying to protect him? Don't you think he should go out? Even all the professors want. Why are you against it? Taeyang, I am just saying what is fair. I know he is not a top student. I know he fights a lot, but he has not been in fight from few weeks. And you should consider that too. Kelly, Taeyang, I think we need to give it a thought. You should at least think about what was going on before few weeks. If we don't consider them, he had sent many students to the hospital. Yeah, and that's because they always insulted people. That isn't something good. Mr. Lee. And Jimin also curses, doesn't he? Yeah, every single student in this university curses. We only noticed Jimin, your son also curses, don't he? But I am pretty sure he haven't insulted anyone. Mr. Lee, can't you just understand? Tiang interrupted him. Tiang, you should understand. And if I say he will also get good marks, then are you going to let him stay? Mr. Lee, that's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure he won't be able to get him. And if he got Mr. Lee, he's just a average student. He isn't. He is much more capable than it. I will show it to you, Mr. Lee. Alright, I'll take that challenge. But if he didn't got, then I'm going to fire you. Yeah, I'm alright with that. And if you are going to fire me, then you can't expel Jimin. But still, alright. Let's see if he can get above average marks in this mock test. Yeah, alright. Well said. He said as he bowed and left from there. And what the hell did I just did? I'm pretty sure he's not going to listen to me. But I just can't also let him get expelled for no reason. How much more time is left for the mock test? He said as he took out his phone and looked towards the timetable. Only 2 weeks. I hope he does well and listens to me, which he's never gonna do.